The hype continues to be poured on when people are talking about this New England Patriots player. And no, I'm not talking about the third string running back, all right? So let's jump into it. My name is Aaron. This is Sports Talk Patriots on the daily Patriots football content right here, daily basis. Subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Not only are we going to talk about the hype when it comes to this player, but we're also going to be talking about quarterback battle, a new signing, and others. So this is what I need you to do. Stay tuned for the whole episode. I appreciate it. So when it comes to the hype, bring your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, we're not talking third string running back, anything like that. We're talking about Javon Baker. So he has continued to dazzle when it comes to training camp. And I am leaning on the side more and more reading stuff about him that I'm more excited about him than Polk. We'll see what happens. But KJ Osborne, someone who's been in the league for a while, played a lot with the Patriots, has seen a thing or two, has played with some great receivers, gave him some high praise over training camp. Basically just saying this right here, which is huge. And I love, don't get me wrong, I'm a big, any wide receiver. So, slot, you play, the X, whatever it might be. But I am all about size when it comes to the wide receiver, okay? So if you're taller, you can jump up, you can elevate and get the ball. That is huge, okay? So bigger like that, really, really talented, raw. You see him jump up and make big plays. That is huge. So I think when it comes to the New England Patriots, Javon Baker is going to be a stud. And I'm not saying things that haven't been said already. The interesting comparison he made was George Pickens, if you know him from the Steelers. Some people have found him controversial at times, all these different things, but he is talented. Has he had the best quarterbacks there? No. But he still has put up solid numbers for the Steelers, and who knows what's going to happen there when it comes to Russ, Justin Fields, what the heck's going to happen there? I'm not always a huge person on comparing players, but that's not a bad comparison. If he could go in and put in those numbers, that would be great. And I just love his swagger and his confidence. That's what you need in a player. And so he said, come to the stadium, bring y'all's popcorn. That I can tell you, bring your popcorn. I make people in wheelchairs stand up. That is a wild statement. Wild statement. I almost made that the thumbnail, but I was just like, that's probably not the best thing to say. But bring your popcorn. So he is ready to entertain. And so I'm excited to see, again, he's a rookie. He has a lot to learn. I'm not saying that, but I think he could go in and surprise a lot of people, just like Polk. Pop at slot. Who knows what's going to happen? But I am bullish. Not only on I've talked about Keon White the other day when I talked about that, but I'm bullish on this offense. I think it's going to be better than a lot of people think, and so I'm excited to see them in action. So, what do you think? Again, Javon Baker, are you buying the hype? You selling the hype? I am buying the hype. And do you think George Pickens is a good comparison, or what you've seen of him? What do you think? What's that comparison? And think about this. I've talked about Keon Coleman as well. Keon Coleman, I feel like, is a similar in a way player. I think Javon is faster. I think Keon is. I don't know. Obviously, he was a second-round pick to the Bills, and the Bills are probably going to use him a ton because they've lost Davis and Diggs. So we'll see what happens. But I think Baker was a great pick at 110 in the fourth round. So I think, hey, I love the praise. A lot of things I've been seeing, it's been more on him than it's been on Polk and even other wide receivers. So I listen, I'm jumping into the hype. I'm eating the popcorn. I'm not in a wheelchair, but I'm going to be standing up to my feet pumped watching him. So what do you think? Give me a comparison maybe if you want, if that's the game you play. If not, are you buying the hype? Next thing I want to talk about, our boy Colin Cowherd. Now, we have talked a lot on this channel about Drake May and Joe Milton. Now, again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse with Joe Milton. You know my opinion. I think he is raw athletic talent. He possibly has the strongest arm in the NFL. He is an athletic specimen. Crazy. Now, when it comes down to it, I honestly feel like way too many people are buying the hype with him. And what's wild is Colin Cowherd took almost my verbatim argument where, we talked about RG3 and then Kirk Cousins being drafted later. So RG3 was picked second, and then what was it, the fourth round, they picked Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins ended up getting into the to play that next year. But what a lot of people forget, and Colin Cowherd brings this up, he goes, well, look at this situation. This is exactly what happened. Yeah, but you don't even mention that Robert Griffin literally blew out his knee, and that's why Kirk Cousins came in. Okay, and so I think Joe Milton, the biggest issue with Joe Milton is the short to intermediate throws. That is his issue. I've said it 100 times. That's what happened to him at Michigan. And then at Tennessee, he still struggled with that. There's a reason. I'm going to say it one more time. He left Michigan. Jim Harbaugh, who has developed some great quarterbacks, he literally passed on him from Cade McNamara. Cade McNamara is an average quarterback. If he ever makes it to the NFL, he'll be a backup. I don't even see that happening. He's at his sixth year at Iowa. He transferred there. So Jim Harbaugh essentially passed on him. He went to Tennessee. He did okay at Tennessee. He didn't blow anyone's mind. A lot of people at Rocky Top thought he was going to be the great next thing. He wasn't. Granted, I'll give them, they lost a lot of talent from the year before when they had Hendon Hooker. But that being said, could Joe Milton start? Yes. Anything could happen. I'm not going to say he couldn't. But Colin Cowherd coming out and just having this hot take of don't be shocked, or making, I think he literally says somewhere in here, I can't find it, but he literally says somewhere in here that he will not be surprised, or he's calling that he is going to be the starting quarterback at some point in front of May. Again, if we truly believe that the Patriots front office and other front offices such as the Giants that we've talked about, the Giants were very interested in Drake May. If Milton is that good, why was he picked in the 6th round? That is my biggest question, especially in a draft where it was quarterback heavy and people were taking quarterbacks left and right real quick. So when it comes down to it, Colin Cowherd even says, you got to just look at him. He's athletic. He's strong. He has a crazy arm. And that's true. All of those things are true. Again, there is a reason he was picked in the 6th round. Could he start? Sure. Sure, he could. Also, we haven't even been through a full week, technically, maybe just over a week of really throwing the ball around. We haven't even made it to a preseason game yet, and people are making these claims about Joe Milton. Okay? Again, yes, eye test, he passes all the things. Athletic, talent, very talented when it comes to his athletic ability. But when it comes to in-game stuff, it will be interesting to see, because probably that first preseason game, you're going to see a lot of them. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays that game. So also what's interesting too is Colin Cowherd talks about how, here, I'm going to pop this off. Colin Cowherd talks about how when you look at Patriots football under Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, it was a lot more kind of nickel and dime type short intermediate throws, and they're transitioning from, and obviously that was different and he brings it up and I bring it up as well in the Randy Moss when he was there. But when it comes down to it, a lot of that offense was, hey, we're going to take what the defense gives us, which is solid. And I'm not saying that was always the case, but Colin Cowherd's big argument is, hey, that's Drake May, that's what they see in him, but Joe Milton would be the, hey, we're going for the big game stuff and back to those Randy Moss days. Again, it's all of he's saying is just speculation. And I know what a lot of what I'm saying as well is, hey, in a way speculation, but when it comes down to it, I'm being a realist in this situation. And I say that too because, again, could it happen? Yes. Will it happen? Probably not. They're both rookies that literally it's how many days of training camp have we had? Not many. People are just trying to jump onto stories. Drake May will be your starting quarterback at some point. Will it be this year? Probably, especially if they get that offensive line figured out. But again, Jacoby, if he's balling out, let the man cook. It's as simple as that. What do you think below? Comment below. What do you think about this whole situation? What do you think about what Colin Cowherd said? Do you think it's a possibility that Milton starts? I know a lot of you have said yes. Again, he's a specimen. He's crazy. He's athletic. And again, I will eat my words if that happens one day. where he and when I say start, I say legitimately he has earned the starting job. I'm not talking about people getting injured because, again, you never know. It's the NFL. It wasn't that long ago we had that whole situation with the Broncos and you had a wide receiver starting at quarterback, which was wild. So you never know. So comment below, what do you think about what Colin Cowherd had to say? As well, one other thing I want to talk about is just another signing when it comes to, here we go. Oh, man, no, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you. There you go. Sorry, guys. This was a mess. My internet, something was going on with my internet. Things happen. Go with it. So Mike Purcell, he signed with the Patriots. Older guy, 33. He's been in the league for a long time. I think he's been in the league since 2013, so it's been a while. Stats aren't crazy. He was on the Patriots practice squad at one point, but played in Denver. And so it's interesting with Barmore, that whole situation. You want depth. And so it's going to be interesting to see. I think that's going to be a battle that will be interesting to watch continuing on training camp as they chisel down the roster down to 53. Because the biggest thing is how long will Barmore be out? Because you know that if it wasn't for Barmore, chances are they wouldn't be signing these defensive tackles like this to try to figure something out. And so it makes me wonder, they just took on Josiah Bronson. You know, has he been doing well? Who knows? Maybe it's just, hey, bring this guy in, make it more competitive. It'll be interesting to see, but I think that will be great to watch as we go into the rest of this training camp, into preseason, all these different things. So comment below what you think about all this stuff. I know I asked you a ton of questions today, but I always appreciate your comments. So comment below, subscribe. As always, like, hit the bell, all that fun stuff. Go Patriots. We'll talk to you later. Peace.